Hello everybody, Matthew Rowe with Anomalous Treasures here. Just wanted to explain to everyone the different seller tiers on eBay uh, and how they can affect your business, because they can do really good things and they can also do really bad things. So we'll go over the tiers real fast, just the name, and then I'll talk more about the metrics and how those can affect and how those can either upgrade or downgrade your level. So we'll talk about below standard, above standards, top rated, and top rated plus. Now, for all of those things, you have different metrics to hit. So, for instance, there's a transaction defect rate. If you get below 0.5% on your transaction defect rates, which is like almost perfect on there, you'll be a top rated seller. If you get above that, if you get up to 2%, you will be above standards, and if you get above 2%, you'll be below standards. Next is the late shipment rate. The late shipment rate is basically, did your customers get them on time? And the policy is pretty good for that. If you get if over 3% of your transactions are late, you'll be above standard, but there is no below standard rating on that. So that's pretty good. And 3% out of all of your items being late is actually pretty good once you start building numbers. And I think currently we're at 0.81, and I want to say like half of those are our fault and the other half isn't. So if we didn't mess up at all, we'd be really good. So the next one is cases closed without seller resolution. What this means is that the buyer asked eBay to step in, and eBay will give you an opportunity to be like, hey, this guy wants us to step in, he wants this, that, or the other. If you just refund him, we'll close the case. This doesn't happen too often, luckily, because there is no middle ground. You are either above standard or you are below standard. So the percentage is just 0.3%. So be kind to your customers, even when they're being dicks, especially when they're being dicks. I actually love being super ridiculously sweet to the dickish, scammiest customers we have, because it's fun. And you know, that's one of those choose your battle things. You know, like we had the one guy that tried to rip us off from like $120 oven. That we ended up losing that, but I didn't want to go down without a fight for that, because the guy was trying to rip us off for 120 bucks. Hated it. But like one guy, I'm pretty sure scammed us because he said he never got this book. I'm pretty sure he got the book. It said it was delivered, and he was acting kind of weird, but it was like $18. I just gave him the money, and I blocked him. You can block people from ever buying from you again. Keep that in mind. The next policy, or metric, I'm sorry, is the tracking uploaded on time and validated policy. This one is fairly easy, especially if you're just starting out and you're doing like a 3 business day handling time. That can actually just have you shipping twice a week, which is like Mondays and Wednesdays, which is what me and Cecilia used to do. It can get a little hairy once you start going up to like next day business shipping, which is what we currently do now. The metrics on that aren't too shabby either. There is no below standard. You have to get 95% of your shipments have to be validated on time. And what that means by validated also, because it means that the Postal Service, FedEx, UPS, that means that they actually scanned it in on their time. So you really have to make sure that that's getting done. I did have an issue with that, but we were able to fix that using bulk shipping, because that just provides them with one barcode. And I was like, please, just scan this one barcode. And they've been doing that, which is really great. So everything's been pretty cool. But make sure that gets done. It's like I said, it's easy if you're taking it slow, but once you start getting in that 5th gear and you're shipping like every single day, except for like Sunday, or I mean Saturday and Sundays, it can be easy. If you, like, I don't know. It just can't. Take my word for it. Or you probably already know if you're already there. And then, last but not least, your transactions and sales. Now this is pretty easy, and it's, for a lot of you that are just starting out, it's probably going to be the only thing getting in your way from being a top-rated seller. All you have to do is have 100 transactions and $1,000 in sales in 1 year. It's really not hard to get to. It just takes some time. I think it's just to, like, get you guys in the swing of things. So now that we've talked about what you need to do to become a top-rated seller, above standard and below standard, let's talk about how the different ones. First, we'll talk about above standard since everybody starts there. Above standard, you'll have a 10% listing fee. It's basically just normal rates for everything. Everything's normal, nothing really different. Once you become top-rated seller, nothing really changes either, except for the fact that your listings do become more visible to your clients. It doesn't really specify how visible they are, but this will be the first month that we've been a top-rated seller. Not to say it's noticeable. Maybe about 10-15% noticeable, but it's definitely noticeable. Now, what's the real kicker is top-rated seller plus. Top-rated seller plus is really good, just because they have one little difference. You get that 10% listing fee taken off. You don't like not listing fee, I'm sorry, the final value fee. You get that 10% final value fee just taken off. Which that actually means a lot. Say, for instance, you do $3,000 in sales a month, 300 of that would be going to eBay. And instead, you get that $300 in your pocket. $300 in your pocket is pretty nice. You can use that to buy shipping supplies or whatever. Now, the thing with that is that you have to do a few things differently. You have to do next business day shipping, which is what we do. You also have to do free 30-day returns, which is not quite what we do. We want to do that. We're just trying to see what our sales are on the average for a top-rated seller, and just make sure, because this is actually third quarter for us, and third quarter is our slowest quarter. So I want to make it through here first, and then offer free returns, because that means, in case you can't tell, free returns just means that if somebody doesn't like it for whatever reason, you have to pay for shipping. And that can be expensive, depending on the item. So, there's that. So, below standard. Now, below standard is horrible. I believe they charge you a 15% listing fee. Your listings are not as well noticed at all. What else happened? I think it's it. Oh! If you are stuck in below standard, I want to say for like 3 months, they will close down your account. Yeah. So it can be really, really horrible. We actually were in below standard for a short amount of time because for the transaction defect rate. Transaction defect rate was the 2%. And when we were not just starting out, but when we were just starting to gain some traction and actually put, I want to say, like over 700 items in our store, we kind of like had a lot more inventory coming in, and we weren't as well suited at placing it and remembering where we had it. So when you can cancel a transaction. You have 3 reasons. Reasons are the buyer asked you to, there's something wrong with the shipping address, and you're out of the stock or the item is damaged. Well, we were using that out of stock option quite a bit for about 3 months straight, and we went to below standard. Actually, about this time last year, we went below standard. It stinks. Don't let yourself get there. That's why I always like to say take it slow. Because if you take it slow, you can just, learn a lot, make a little extra money, and then get bigger. But, to each their own. So, I want to say that's it for this video. I'm not 100% sure. Let me double check and think. Um, so is it worth it being a top rated seller? Sure, it totally is. It's really not that hard to do as long as you do everything right. You don't have to do anything special. You don't have to do next day shipping. You don't have to do anything crazy. You just ship your items when you say you're going to ship them, list them right, and have adequate customer service. If you can do all those things, being a top rated seller isn't that hard, and is what you should be doing anyways, at the very least. And your listings will become more visible. If you are above rated, it's not a big deal. You'll still make decent amount of sales. Top rated seller plus, I think, is going to be a really good move. We'll keep you updated on that. Never, never get below standard. Never. All right. Well, that's it for this video. We're going to make it pretty quick. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, please tell me why. If y'all want to see different types of videos, learn something different, please let me know. I'm by no means a professional, but been doing it for a minute, and I don't mind sharing what we know. And yeah, we'll probably see you guys in like 2 or 3 weeks. We're doing another online auction. Should be really good. All right, guys, have a good one.